They mocked me in Spanish, not knowing I understood every word. Hi everyone, welcome back. We've got a brand new story to share with you, so let's dive right in. My name is Ethan Morales. When this all began, I was 29, working at a mid-tier pharmaceutical company in their compliance division. It wasn't glamorous. I handled internal reports, shipping logs, and documentation for audits. Still, it paid well enough, and more importantly, I saw a path forward. Promotions, growth, a career. After years of bouncing between jobs, this one felt like it had roots. That's around the time I met Camila Serrano. Camila worked for a logistics contractor that serviced our company. She'd come by once or twice a week, dropping off sealed packages and interbranch documents. At first, she was all business. Ponytail tight, badge clipped, never stayed longer than needed. But I remember the first time she smiled at something I said. I'd made some dumb joke about how our office was the highlight of her delivery route. It wasn't even funny, but she chuckled. That tiny moment stuck with me. Over the next few weeks, her stops became less robotic. She lingered, asked me how my day was, mentioned random little things. Music, her sister's wedding, her annoying coworker. And eventually we weren't just two people crossing paths. We were flirting, testing waters. One Thursday afternoon, as she handed off a parcel, I asked, "Got plans tonight?" expecting some vague answer. She smirked and said, "Yeah, sleep. Just sleep." We both laughed. It was playful and honest, and that was the moment I knew I wanted more. So I took a shot. I told her about this quiet little restaurant downtown my friend had recommended. Cozy vibe, dim lights, amazing food. I said, "Let me take you." She hesitated for a second, maybe measuring whether I was serious, but then nodded. All right. That night turned into something real. We talked for hours about nothing and everything. Our childhoods, our favorite bad movies, foods we pretended not to like. And somewhere between dessert and the walk back to her car, something clicked. She wasn't just interesting. She was genuine. Or at least I thought she was. A few dates later, I asked her to be my girlfriend. She said yes without hesitation. For the next 3 years things were solid. Not some fairy tale romance, but grounded, warm, familiar. We took weekend road trips, made midnight pancakes, and watched bad reality shows without shame. She fit into my world and I tried to fit into hers. But after her younger sister got married, something shifted. Camila began to mention marriage. Not in a pushy way at first. Comment here, a joke there. But soon it became more pointed. She'd talk about how her family expected her to settle down. How, in her culture, marriage wasn't just between two people. It was a family milestone. I understood where she was coming from. I loved her. I did. But I also had a promise to myself. I wouldn't propose until I felt financially ready. I was up for a major promotion, a leap that would finally allow me to afford the kind of future Camila dreamed about. So I asked for time. Few more months. That's all. She said she understood. But her behavior told another story. She started pulling back. Calls went unanswered. Texts got short. She began acting like we were just coexisting. Like her heart had checked out without telling me. Then, out of the blue, I got the text. "Hey, are you free this weekend? My parents want to meet you." Stopped me cold. I wasn't ready for that. Not because I didn't love her, but because I wasn't sure where we stood anymore. Still, I started typing some excuse. I hadn't even hit send when she followed up. Really? What could possibly be more important than meeting my parents? That hit hard. I tried calling her. She didn't budge. If we're serious, this shouldn't be up for debate. She was right. So I said yes. Saturday came. I wore dark jeans, a tailored blazer, polished shoes. I even brought a bottle of Spanish Red. Nice, not over the top. I looked like I was headed to a job interview because in a way, it was. This was the night I'd prove myself as worthy. I parked outside their suburban home, took a breath and rang the bell. Her parents were warm at first. Smiles, handshakes, even a little small talk while Camila helped her mom in the kitchen. Her dad poured me a drink and asked about my job. Felt natural. I even thought maybe I overthought this. Then we sat down for dinner. That's when the atmosphere changed. Camila's mother made a comment in Spanish. Everyone at the table laughed. Everyone except me. Now, I hadn't told Camila this in the 3 years we were together, but I studied Spanish for 4 years in high school. I wasn't fluent, but I could understand enough to catch the tone and context. Her mother's joke. She said that I looked like someone whose job couldn't even cover a decent dinner, let alone support a family. Her father chuckled, replying that out of all the men Camila had dated, I looked like I had the least ambition. And then Camila said it. I'm just managing him for now. I brought him here so you could meet him before I find someone better. That laughter hit like a slap. My stomach tightened. My face stayed neutral. Then, her mother leaned in and whispered, ¿Estás segura de que no entiende español? Are you sure he doesn't understand Spanish? Camila grinned and said, No lo sufficient para preocuparse. Son poco lento. Not enough to worry about. He's a little slow. A moment later she turned to me with a wide, fake smile and asked in English, Are you enjoying the food, Ethan? Smiled back. Yes, ma'am. It's delicious. Thank you. And I meant it, the food was great. Everything else left a bitter taste. As dinner ended and plates were cleared, I stood up, took a breath and said, clearly and confidently in Spanish, Gracias por su hospitalidad. Escuche y entendí todo lo que dijeron esta noche. Thank you for your hospitality. I heard and understood everything you said tonight. The room froze. Her father straightened up like someone had just slapped him. Her mother's mouth parted in shock. Camila. He turned pale. I looked around the table one last time, nodded politely, and walked out the door. Camila blew up my phone that night. Missed calls, texts, voice notes. All of them boiling down to one question. Why didn't you tell me you spoke Spanish? As if that was the betrayal. Not the insults. Not the way she laughed with her parents as they trashed me. No, the betrayal was me understanding her cruelty. I never replied. I didn't need to. The next morning I was lying on the couch when I heard a knock. I already knew who it was. Camila stood there. Messy bun, puffy eyes, and a face full of blame. Why are you ignoring me? She snapped. I looked at her calmly and said, Because I don't owe you anything. She said it was all a joke. That I was being too sensitive. That I took it the wrong way. But that night wasn't a joke. It was a mask slipping. I didn't argue. I didn't scream. When she tried to walk past me, I blocked the doorway and said, You're not welcome here. Then I shut the door, locked it, walked away. Her texts came in waves. First regret, then guilt-tripping, then anger. I let them pile up, then I blocked her. 'Cause finally, I saw her clearly. Breaking up hurt, of course it did. I won't pretend I didn't sit alone some nights, wondering if I missed a red flag, if there was something I could have done differently. But the truth is, some people only show their true face when they think you're not listening. That night I listened. And I left. In the weeks that followed, I turned inward. Focused on my health, my work, the unread books collecting dust on my shelf. I reconnected with old friends. I gave myself space to breathe again. I'm not healed completely, but I'm getting there. Because that dinner, that wasn't the end. It was the beginning of a life with peace, with clarity, and most importantly with self-respect. Thanks for listening.